This is Between the Uprights. Football is life. The rest is just details. Here are your hosts, Joe, Matt, and Chris.
Welcome into Between the Uprights. I'm Joe, that's Matt. Chris couldn't be here with us today, but our thoughts go out to her as she's working her way back from an illness. But that doesn't mean we're not going to be here giving you all of that great football breakdown that you come to Between the Uprights for. Before we get into all that, please hit that like and subscribe button. It would mean a lot to us here at Between the Uprights. We're just getting this thing rolling here, and we would appreciate if you were to like and subscribe. Now, fall is here. The NFL is heading to week 6. Leaves are changing colors. The temperature's getting cooler out. Pumpkin spice is back into your favorite coffee chain. Changes all around us, people. And nowhere is it more apparent than under center, where teams are making quarterback changes either by force or by choice. And it just happened in New England, where we are going to finally see rookie quarterback Drake Maye under center in week 6 as he replaces Jacoby Brissett as QB1 in New England. Matt, you and I have had tons of conversations about when we thought Drake Maye should or would start. This is earlier than either of us thought this was going to happen. And honestly, I'm kind of surprised by it, but at the same time, I understand, you got to find something that works here, right?
Yeah, I mean, Joe, to your point, we talked about this. I mean, we had a whole video on when Drake Maye and Michael Penix were going to start. I believe you said Drake Maye was going to start next year. He wouldn't start at all this year. And then I think I said week 9 or something like that. Was when he was going to start.
Week 8, I believe it was yours.
And it turns out we're at week 6, and Patriots fans already panicked so much that the front office was like, "We got to start Drake Maye," and that's what this is, right? The Patriots and the Patriots fans aren't used to being this terrible. We're not used to being this bad. Obviously, me and Joe, us both are Patriots fans. We aren't used to sucking like this. Like, this is a different type of suck that we've ever seen before. We just lost to Tyler Huntley and the Miami Dolphins, who literally cannot get a first down. They can't score or anything, and we just lost to them. So Patriots fans are panicking, and for good reason. We haven't sucked this bad for a long time, and we see how bad the offense has been. And obviously, we had the greatest quarterback of all time for 20 years, and we don't know how it is to have a bad quarterback. And now, Jacoby Brissett, obviously it's not his fault. Obviously, we're not blaming Jacoby Brissett. No, I don't think Jesus himself could be successful with the offensive line and the wide receivers that the New England Patriots have right now. So I think as far as Drake Maye goes, listen, man, I talked about it. Week 9 is when I wanted him to start. I'm not surprised that we're starting him here, but listen, Joe, this is a terrible idea. I don't like it at all. I think Drake Maye's obviously the best quarterback on the team. The problem is, like I talked about, the Patriots situation, everything is terrible around this quarterback right now. The line and the receivers are terrible. We have okay tight ends and running backs, I guess, but is a new rookie quarterback really going to make this team contenders? Like, are we going to go back to being the mid 2000s, early 2000s Patriots, where we're just contending for a Super Bowl? Absolutely not. Nobody expected this. We talked about this preseason. This team sucks. It's always going to suck, and everyone knew it was going to suck. Why are we panicking now? I heard one of the talking heads on ESPN say something to the effect of, like, what, are you just going to sit back with Brissett and go 1-16? Like, yeah, kind of. Like, like that's kind of the plan. Like, we were going to suck the entire time. What, Drake Maye's going to come in and now we're going to go 3-14? Like, who cares? Like, this is a long-term investment, not a short-term solution. I'll say that again. Drake Maye is a long-term investment. He's not a short-term solution. So don't screw him up because us Patriots fans are too spoiled and panicking because some of us were dumb enough to think this team was going to be good. So no, do not bring Drake Maye into this shit show. Use the high picks that you're going to get next year and the free agency and the money we're going to have in free agency next year to make this a more safe environment for a young quarterback. But this Drake Maye should not be in right now. I do not want to see Drake Maye for the New England Patriots this season.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be bad. But listen, it makes sense. You look at Jacoby Brissett through 5 weeks. He's got the second worst completion percentage in the NFL.
Oh, bad. Yeah.
You go by yards, he's the only quarterback with over 5 games under his belt who has under 700 yards. The only 2 quarterbacks that have less yards than Jacoby Brissett are Andy Dalton, Will Levis, Bryce Young, right? Like, guys who haven't even played 5 games. In fact, you have Jared Goff, you have Jalen Hurts and Jordan Love. Jordan Love's only played 3 games. He's got almost 200 more yards than Jacoby Brissett. It makes sense. I understand why you're doing what you're doing, all right? But like you said, you lost your starting center. Cole Strange is not there. Caden Wallace is on IR, who was starting at right tackle for you. You signed Okafor in the offseason. He played 12 snaps. There's clearly a problem here. And if you want to get even more into it, you can look at the receivers who have played for the New England Patriots. You have Tyquan Thornton, who when targeted is having an 18.3 quarterback rating when targeted. KJ Osborne, who's a healthy scratch last week, has a 49.3. Jalen Polk is a 75.3. That's our top wide receiver pick from this draft. And then you have Kendrick Bourne, who has played one game and has one target, 2 targets, maybe. He's got a 91.7. Your top 2 rating by target are Demario Douglas and Kayshon Boutte. Kayshon Boutte, in fact, is when he's targeted, it's 115.6 rating.
Wow.
Like, damn good.
Yeah.
Damn good, right? And we didn't think he'd be on this team after the debacle we saw in the offseason last year, or, before the season started. So, I mean, does Drake May offer something that Jacoby Brissett doesn't? Sure. He's a little more mobile. Is that enough to make this team better? No. I think it's a risk that, like you said, the organization, the fan base made this coach, or made the coaching, and the coaches down there made that change because they wanted to see something different.
Mm-hmm.
You're risking and hey, we're not there. We're not on the practice field. We're not seeing the development. Maybe Drake May's ready. Maybe he is. Maybe he's not. I don't know. I'm not there. But what I do know is that this is the worst offensive line in football.
Worst receiving core in football too. Whose receiving core is worse than ours?
I honestly don't know.
I don't know either.
I honestly don't know. But Jacoby Brissett is the highest pressured quarterback. They're the only team to have over 50 pressures and be blitzed under 40 times. In fact, they're the only team to have over 50 pressures be blitzed under 35 times. The only other team that is even close is the Vikings with Sam Darnold, who've only been pressured 46 times. And I believe that's realistically it. That's how bad this is for them. In fact, the only other team there's 1, 2, 3 teams that have been pressured more than the Patriots. Every single one of them have been blitzed at least 11 more times. That's like teams are getting to the quarterback in New England with a standard 4-man front.
That's all it takes.
That's all it takes. Even when they keep tight ends into chip, running backs into chip, running backs into block, which means you have technically 6 people or 7 people, sometimes 8 people blocking 4 down linemen, they still get there. I wouldn't put a rookie quarterback in that.
This has been Between the Uprights. Football is life. The rest is just details.